2007 Ferrari 430 Scuderia Road Car in VR. Hello there everybody, and a big welcome to all of you that play and all of you that don't. This is Opafet Gaming, and I am the Opafet. We're driving a 2007 Ferrari 430 in the European Clubman Cup 600. We're driving it at the Deep Forest Raceway track in reverse. We're doing 5 laps. We started 20th of 20 cars, and we started with a rolling start. Now these laps are decent length. They're going to take a little bit of time to do, but like normal, we don't want to sit back and wait. We're going to start passing as quickly as we can so we can move up in the pack and try and get near the front. The cars are scattered pretty good on this track, so it's going to take a little bit of time to try and get to the front of the pack. Now this track is I actually really like driving this track, but mostly in the normal direction, not in the reverse. Now in reverse it's fine too, but I just like doing it the other way better. Now there are a couple of sections on this track that are good for passing, and the rest is not, as this section that we're in right now, where you're going to go back and forth underneath through a couple of little tunnels, and there's just not a lot of room. You can do it if you're ready for it when the opportunity comes, like right here when you go around the next corner, this one coming up, and you're right behind a car. If you boot it right, oh sorry, it was this corner, right here, if you boot it, you can get on the inside of them, and when they come to the corner they slow down quite a bit, so you can catch somebody napping there. Then of course you're down the straight stretch again, where you can really open it up and get going. So this here part is a decent place to pass, and then coming around the corner here is a good place to pass too, but you got to be careful you don't go too fast around this corner, because it really pulls you to the left, and sometimes you might just run into the barrier on the side of the track there, which you don't want to do. Now the other good place to pass, of course, is coming up in this section here where you go through those 2 big sections of tunnel. But you got to watch out, because in the tunnel the cars they kind of veer from one side of the track to the other, because the road just kind of turns to the left a little bit, and then they go back to the other side of the track. So just be careful when you're trying to pass somebody in the tunnel. It's a little bit darker, harder to see, and you don't know exactly when these guys are going to switch from one side of the track to the other. It's always a little bit different, so you got to be a little bit more careful. So not a lot of places to pass, and then you're back in this section again, and it goes back and forth. And like I shown you, you know, if you are ready for it and you hit it at the right time, you can pass cars in here, but it usually gets pretty chaotic. And when you got 3 or 4 cars like this in front of you, you really got nowhere to go. And they don't always drive in a straight line. Sometimes they drive beside each other, which makes it even harder. So in a situation like that, I just try to keep up with the last car, stick with the group until you get right here again. Like I said, I wasn't going to try and cut on the inside this time because there's too many cars there, and I was too far back. And then when you get to over here, you can open it up again and try and catch up a little bit. The problem is that when you're sitting behind those cars going through that little snaky area, the ones up front, the faster ones, are getting even further away, so it gets even harder to catch up to them. Because now you can see one car in front of us there, but I tell you, we are nowhere near the front of the pack. As you can see, there's 3 of them going around the corner there. So we got a little ways to go yet, and we're coming up to, I believe, about halfway through the race already. So even though it takes a while when you start racing and you're not paying attention to how many laps you're doing, you quickly evaporate the track underneath your tires. It's gone before you know it. So that's why we say don't wait to pass anybody. If you got the opportunity, do it now and keep going, because we're quite a ways away from the lead yet. And our 3rd lap, this is our 3rd lap already. It's almost done. We're getting closer. Well, we're in that snaky area, which means that there's going to be no passing in this area until you get almost to the end of this lap. So you could pretty well count the first 3 laps gone and you're still in this position. Don't forget that. Then you've only got 2 laps left to go. Now, if we can try our best to see how many cars we can pass when we get down by the grandstand there by the end of this lap. And hopefully that'll help us out. We can at least put these 2 in front of us, behind us. That should help us out a little bit, but like I said, the cars are spread out pretty good, so it's a little difficult to catch up to all of them. And the best thing to do is just to hammer down here. But in one of these laps, I go a little bit too fast around this corner down here, and it really pulls me like this, way over. Now, I let off the throttle, and I was able to control it, but if you don't, you will slam into that wall. I haven't done it yet, but I could feel the control leaving the car, so I had to slow down a little bit and let the car just kind of glide around the corner before I started hammering down again. Now, we are quickly eating up our 4th lap, and we're still a little ways behind these cars, so we got to go as hard as we can to catch up to these guys. I'm not quite sure how many cars are left, but we got to be getting close to the front, you would think. Now, we've got a Maserati in front of us, or a Lamborghini, and we got to put him behind us. But there again, we're into that snaky section again. And boy, I tell you, you quickly start to dislike this part of the track, especially when the guy in front of you keeps stepping on his brakes and he's slowing you down, and you want to go. You know you can go faster. I'm in 2nd gear, shifting from 2nd to 3rd, when I should be shifting from 3rd to 4th. So we're going to try and go as hard as we can here and catch up to him, and maybe pass him when we get down to the grandstand. Hopefully that'll be straight enough and we'll be able to pass him there. So right here, we just open her up and let her go. Just like that. And we only got 1 lap left to go after this, and then we should be seeing that checkered flag, and hopefully we'll be seeing it as the winner of the race. But I have my doubts, because this is a tough race. I'm trying to go as hard as I can, but I'm afraid that the cars in the front, we've got 1 in front of us here. Ooh, 3 around the corner there. Got 4 cars in front of us still. That's a pretty tall order for less than a lap to go. So we're going to have to try and go as hard as we can here. We'll catch up to them. But I don't know if we're going to be able to pass them. So, but we're going to do our best, stick with them, and see what happens. This is an absolutely awesome race. I love this car. This car is fantastic to drive. I didn't think it looked all that great from the outside, but boy, she grows on you real quick when you've been driving it on the track like this. I mean, when you sit inside, you can tell it's a Ferrari. Absolutely gorgeous car to drive. Anyhow, I hope you enjoyed this race, this video, and hope you got some tips or some tricks out of it. If not, if you just came just to watch it for the fun of it, absolutely awesome. That's great. Love to have more viewers, as many as we can. And if you liked it, share it with your friends. Anyhow, hope to see you back at Obafet Gaming again real soon. Until then, we've been driving in a 2007 Ferrari 430 Scuderia at the Deep Forest Raceway with me, the Obafet.